A lot of exciting news came out last month. Blender has reached version 5, Chaos makes a raw traffic, V-Ray GPU engine renders a massive scene on AMD, good news from AI, bad news from AI, and movie industry highlights, and I can't wait to share all this with you. My name is Alex Andrew, you are on my channel and watching a news recap for October 2025. A recent Blender update to beta version 5.0 brought a lot of new options and tools. A killer feature for this version is the support of ACES 1.3 and 2.0 configs for pro-level color management. Along with that, Blender got updates for its cycles render for better metal shaders, soft scatter materials, and volumetrics. And moreover, geometry nodes leveled up, shader nodes, adaptive subdivision is not experimental option anymore, and OpenEXR output format now saves a multi-part files by default for better effectiveness in other apps. Good to see how Blender step by step acquiring an industry level capabilities. Chaos dropped a really cool video for their Anima tool version 6.2 update. This well integrated into 3D Max, Cinema 4D and Unreal Engine tool, supporting V-Ray and Corona renders, allows you to fulfill your CG roads and streets with truly alive traffic and pedestrians. In this new version, cars can be fully occupied with passengers, use stop and turn lights. In addition, the vehicle library was greatly extended with popular urban models. Pedestrians now are tag-based and driven by 4D paths, what makes crowds context-aware and act with natural motion. In addition, Anima creates a model variations automatically and density parameter can be adjusted in one button. Also, this version received lots of optimizations. Scene load and generation is faster now and consumes less memory. Nice! For a long time, GPU rendering in V-Ray was available exclusively only for the owners of NVIDIA GPU with CUDA cores. Until now. This month, details from Autodesk University event revealed that Chaos is going to make V-Ray support AMD GPUs. Fascinating news for the Red Team GPU owners, but this is not the whole thing. During the event, it was showcased two workstations running a V-Ray GPU render. First one on discrete AMD Radeon Pro W7600 and on HP ZBook Ultra laptop built around AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 processor, which has a unified memory architecture, so up to 96 GB of total 128 GB memory can be allocated as VRAM. 96 GB. It was demonstrated on a heavy USD test scene that was easily loaded and rendered. It wouldn't be possible on most of discrete GPUs because of typically low VRAM capacity. Another interesting detail here is that this is a still CUDA-based application but executed via special open source toolkit called AMD HIP. So this is the same GPU render, not a new coded feature, and performed way better than OpenCL would do. Chaos plans to make it available for all platforms including 3D Max, SketchUp, Revit, Rhino, Maya and Blender. FumeFX updated to 7.1 version. This wonderful simulation tool had received lots of feature performance and quality of life updates in the last couple years. Sydney Sati added node-based simulation and particle system environment, a GPU-accelerated fluid generations, and many more. In 7.1 update, FumeFX received further viewport performance updates, so now it can display heavy caches with good viewport responsiveness and even more playback sequences at an acceptable frame rate. Additionally, some new display options for voxel colorization and scaling. A new render wrap algorithm is faster up to 5 times in transformations with standard 3D Max modifiers such as bend, taper, twist, skew and stretch. Beside the speed, it produces a sharper result. Other deformers and FFD still uses previous sampling-based approach for now. Options for export has been improved as well. NodeWorks allows an effortless data transfer to Houdini via Alembic preset with optimal cache sizes or export to Bifrost in Maya. Also, NodeWorks received an option to import point cloud data from Alembic, so it allows to load data from software like Houdini or LiquidGen. Additionally, lots of bug fixes was included in this update. In August, we already talked about Zibra AI products, and this month they rolled out a new tool, ZibraGDS. Similar to what they offered with ZibraVDB for volumetric compression, they unveiled for Mesh, a new experimental solution designed to bring massive geometry sequences into Unreal Engine, and the demonstration footages are really impressive. Zibra AI claims that ZibraGDS can handle millions of polygons, and it is faster than native geometry cache in Unreal Engine, and it supports effects like destruction, closed, liquid, soft bodies, and other. At this moment, ZibraGDS allows to import Alembic only, but USD and other formats are in development and coming soon. Unfortunately for Unity users, Zibra AI doesn't have plans for this engine yet. For Unreal Engine plugin, closed alpha sign-up is on. Speaking of mentioned ZibraVDB, Zibra AI just made it free for Houdini and Unreal Engine users whose annual income is below 100,000 USD level. To me, this is the right place where AI could be applied to CG and VFX industry, and I'm happy to see that some companies having this vision. Twinmotion has updated to 2025.2 version. This popular real-time visualization program brings new features and enhancements for creators across industries in this update. Nanite virtualization geometry feature that we used to see in Unreal Engine comes to Twinmotion too. Same as Lumen, which came to this program 2 years ago, Nanite joins the Twinmotion toolset and allows you to work with multiple extremely high-resolution complex meshes consisting of hundreds of millions or even billions of polygons while maintaining real-time performance. Architecture and environment artists will enjoy a new parallax windows feature. It uses a special shader to create an illusion of interior depths on a simple lightweight plane, needless to import heavy interior geometry. Pre-made libraries includes 27 different interiors such as offices, residentials, gym and retail. For spectacular and atmospheric landscape shots, this version offers an addition to VFX library. 17 different cards with fog effect. With minimum performance cost, it is possible to just drag and drop a photorealistic fog to your scene and adjust color, density, wind speed and direction if needed. Demonstrated examples are truly mesmerizing. Among other cool features, disassemble animation options, photorealistic grass preset, LUT and filter features, motion blur for static images for movement imitation and bringing even more life to your render, and for production purposes it was introduced a new feature of virtual camera that allows you to make fly-through exploration or product presentation. AI bubble is still growing, consuming colossal amount of money like a black hole, involving people, companies and even governments. Australia is just crazy here. We will talk a bit more about AI in another video later this month. There are so many things happening and thoughts and fears around it. The father of all artificial intelligence, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, admitted in his speech that AI industry is flooded with oceans of money, that overexcited investors are blindly throwing into this industry, expecting booming their investments. He even compares this to so-called dot-com bubble, which ended up in a very serious financial crisis in the beginning of 2000, which took 15 years for markets to recover. At the same time, Sam is investing in AI which, as expected, will read a human mind and in general says, I don't care if we burn 50 billion in a year, we are building AGI. I'm not sure where's the difference with a blind investor here. Meanwhile, recent research reveals that AI power consumption globally will reach the level of whole Japan by 2030, just in 5 years. Every generated meme or silly fake video that already flooded all social media has its cost, we just don't see it yet. Speaking of costs, recent collapse of Amazon Web Services, AWS, that crashed thousands of platforms in a wide range of industries, including Snapchat, McDonald's app, Roblox, Fortnite and even some bank systems, was vaguely hidden under operational issue title, was quickly resolved by server's backup. But what gets attention here is the report published right before this outage, which says that company had laid off 40% of its developers team and replaced them with AI. If Skynet from the Terminator movie was the first thing that came up in your mind, you are on the right way. Just imagine how terrible the weakness we are creating by letting run our core infrastructure platforms with soulless and I would say even mindless machine instead of, let's say, a group of people that acts together. Just make it control and military systems, power facilities and network, and we could find ourselves in a very similar situation to what James Cameron depicted in his world-famous franchise. During the edit of this video, additional news report arrived about another AWS product, Batch Render Manager Deadline. They set it to maintenance mode, simply saying they stop its development, only critical updates possibly expected. Instead, they suggest to try their Deadline cloud service. Interesting if this is also related to the recent layoffs and the service will be operated with AI or even trained on the cloud data. A major VFX studio revealed their use of Blender in production pipeline for a feature film. During the Blender Conference 2025, which actually took place in September but was shared just recently, it was a talk by team members from Framestore where they described their use of Blender. In fact, it was 2 movies which a small development team of 5 people at Framestore was working on. A movie If released in 2024 and How to Train a Dragon from this year. Even though the value of this work is just to help the director and production team at very early stages with quick demonstrations of how it can be and where does it go, it is nice to see how a new tool, Blender, is popping up at big studios. In another hand, there are still some difficulties to overcome, for example, data transfer from one department to another. As it was mentioned during the speech, animation department at Framestore doesn't use Blender, neither other teams. So transferring mesh performed via Alembic with expected problems like losing shaders, visibility settings, subdivides, and it requires some additions for Blender to fill this gap. Members in this tiny look dev team admitted a good flexibility and speed during the work with Blender. Quick changes in shaders or sculpting could be made even during a meeting with the client. A company founded by 4 brothers, Harry, Albert, Sam and Jack Warner in 1923, nowadays well known as WarnerBros Discovery, after 102 years of work is considering putting the entire company up for sale. Their asset is massive and covers media companies CNN, TBS, TNT, HBO, which is famous for various TV series including Game of Thrones, DC Studios, which has whole DC Comics universe and Harry Potter franchise, and after their merge in 2022, it includes a whole set of Discovery Incorporation in addition. This is so large piece of cake. Among possible buyers are Netflix, Comcast and Paramount Skydance and few other unnamed parties. This massive media sale will inevitably shake the industry, but what is really interesting is how such a successful and world-recognized media corporation with so wide range of assets is failing to deal with their huge loan debts. And how did they even accumulate these 50 billion debts? Maybe one of the highest paid executive in the media industry and big Warner Bros. Shareholder David Zaslav knows the answer. This is what October brought to us, and if you would like to explore November's highlights, welcome to subscribe this channel. Also, other stuff is awaiting here. Feedback is appreciated. Thanks for watching. See you. Bye.